Saturday marks 7 years since a gunman entered the Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut, and opened fire. The terror continued for nearly 15 minutes. When the shooting stopped, 26 people were dead. It's one of the deadliest mass shootings in American history. Of the victims killed inside the school that day, 6 were adult staff and faculty members. 20 were children between the ages of 6 and 7 years old. Scarlett Lewis's son, Jesse, was killed in the massacre. In the aftermath, she founded the Jessie Lewis Choose Love Foundation. Now Lewis has a new project called the 2018 Yearbook. It depicts all 37 victims killed in school shootings across the country last year. I spoke with her Friday about how she hopes to prevent another tragedy. Over the last decade, gun violence has been such a huge and significant problem in this country. Why did you choose to go about it with this yearbook?
Well, we wanted to make sure that it stayed in the news. I don't think many people realize that 2018 was the deadliest year on record for school shootings. We've had a school shooting once a week in 2019, so it still is a very real problem, and we need to have a solution, and we need people to take responsibility for what's going on in our schools that actually then translates out into our society, so it really impacts us all.
So tell me a little bit more about this yearbook and what you would find if you open up the pages.
So when you open the yearbook, and what would normally be a celebration is now blank pages with each student who died in a school shooting in 2018, just a blank page, their birth date and their death date.
And you are actually giving these to lawmakers, to Democratic 2020 presidential hopefuls, to President Trump even. What do you hope to achieve by getting this into the hands of politicians?
We want to make sure that this stays on the top of their priorities. Keeping our kids safe in school is all of our responsibilities, and I'm not sure that there's anything more important than that. So we want to have a courageous call to action, really, for them to do something. Anything that they've done up until now, there's no finger pointing or blame, but there is a responsibility on all of our parts to act, and this is a call to action.
It's been 7 years since the Sandy Hook massacre. Your son, Jesse, was there and passed away. You've created this incredible foundation called the Jessie Lewis Choose Love movement. Tell me about it.
So I started the organization really based on a message that Jesse left on our kitchen chalkboard shortly before he died. He wrote 3 words: nurturing, healing, love. Not Those 3 words aren't something a 6-year-old would normally say. They were phonetically spelled because he was in 1st grade and just learning to write. But I knew instantly when I saw them that if the shooter, who was a former student whose mother had taught at the school, had been able to give and receive nurturing, healing love, the tragedy would never have happened. And it was as simple as that. I knew that I'd be spreading that message for the rest of my life. This is why I'm here. And I started researching what a solution would look like. I saw how everyone was responding afterwards, and it seemed to me there was a lot of anger, there was a lot of blaming and finger pointing, and people were moving against things, and I really didn't want to be against anything. I wanted to be for something. And based on Jesse's message, I thought, what is the most important thing that connects us all as human beings? And it's the want and need to love and be loved. And love is connection. And a lot of the issues that we're seeing in our schools that then translate out into our society are simply lack of connection. And so I found out about social and emotional learning. I'd never heard of it before. And it's actually lessons that teach us how to have healthy relationships, how to manage our emotions, how to be resilient, how to make responsible decisions. They're called 21st century life skills. And all of the shooters have this in common, that they lack these essential skills and tools. And we're not born with them, actually. We have to learn them.
Wow.
And if you didn't learn them at home and or in school, you get to be an adult and you don't necessarily have them. And by the way, I didn't have a lot of them.
How do you know that? How do you know that you didn't have them?
Well, because I started researching them, and through my work with the foundation and developing a free lifespan program, I have learned them. And I have to tell you, even despite my terrible tragedy and losing my son, these skills and tools have helped me tremendously, even helped me get through my trauma.
How can folks at home learn more about this program? Are there resources online?
Absolutely. I would have everyone go to the Choose Love Movement. The website is chooselovemovement.org. And on there is everything that you need to take to your school, to ask the questions if they have a social emotional learning program, to take this free program if they don't. Anyone can take the pledge. That's really the call to action from the yearbook. To take the pledge to choose love, that's actually cultivating safety from the inside out. You know, we focused on external safety measures, and none of that addresses the cause of why a child would want to harm themselves or someone else. And unless we're addressing the cause, we're really not talking about the solution. And social and emotional learning is the solution, and it can create a safer, more peaceful and loving world.
What do you say to people who believe gun violence, preventing gun violence, focusing on gun laws is really the way forward in preventing these kinds of school shootings?
You know what? I've always said I appreciate everything that everyone is doing to keep our kids safe in school. I decided to focus on education and proactive prevention because we can actually prevent these issues from happening. And by giving kids the skills and tools they need to manage their emotions and have healthy relationships and make responsible decisions, be resilient to the issues that we know that they're going to face in life. And so I decided to be for something, and that was social and emotional learning.
And over the next year, what's your hope for this movement?
I would like to see the Choose Love movement in every school, every home, and every community. This is really a practice. We practice our social and emotional skills every day, all day long. You may have practiced it when you drove in and someone cut you off. So these are really things that can help us all throughout our life. And so my hope is that we get a lot more traffic and that we get a lot more support from people who want to be part of the solution. They can donate to us. We have a free program. Everything that we do is free because it's so vitally important that kids get these essential life skills to keep them safe and to give them the best opportunity that they have to have a purpose-filled, meaningful, and happy life.
Scarlett Lewis, we're so grateful you could be with us on this special weekend as we honor those lives lost.
Thank you.